Yes, we had a bit of a microphone failure on our last Snooze Button show last week.
Yeah. I still enjoyed it.
I listened to it in the car and I thought, oh, we've gotten away with that. I can't hear the buzz. Because when I was editing it, I realised in actual fact that's quite bad.
Yeah.
And it sounded worse when I was editing than the final version did, you know, the final MP3 version. So, I thought I'd gotten away with it. And then listening to it in the car sounded fine. But then when I listened to it on headphones, it's really noticeable. So apologies for that.
It wasn't too bad on my iPhone, my iPod, to be honest.
Right.
Like, through the headphones, I could hear a little buzz, but it wasn't like, this is hurting my ears.
We just had a microphone go rogue on us. Don't know what happened there. Might be the lead.
Yeah.
It's not like I've tested it since or anything. Anyway, this is a Snooze Button show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. And we do have another show, of course, a review show. Whether or not we'll have time to do a review show today as well is another matter, because there's a lot of news.
Yeah, it may be just a jumbo news show this week.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how we get on time-wise.
Yeah.
Anywho, there are review shows out there that we've done. There's also a back catalogue. Go and listen to that. In the meantime...
Eat Maxi Bonds.
Oh, they're good. I like Maxi Bonds.
You can buy a pack of 3. a pack of 4 in full size in certain supermarkets now for £1.50.
I think you can say it. We're not the BBC.
I don't know which supermarket it is now. I can't remember where I bought them. It's not because I'm the BBC.
Okay.
But you can get 3 packs of 4.
Spar, Co-op.
For £3.
Other supermarkets.
Yeah, I think it's Morrison's or Tesco's.
Okay. That's all of them, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we've mentioned all of them.
Cool.
Aldi, Lidl.
This is
aren't they?
Irrelevant. Should we carry on?
Yeah, Maxi Bonds. Woo!
Yay.
Summer.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Snooze Button Show with Mr. Adam Gattrell. And me, Mr. Chris Quinton. Hello. How are we doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I meant the listeners, but... Yeah,
how are they?
All right, by the sounds of it.
Yeah. No one's said anything negative. So.
Bit of a cheer there.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Woo. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thank you at the back. What a week. Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So lots and lots of things to unpack this week. I heard somebody say on a YouTube video that Comic-Con had been really uneventful this year. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ. Have you seen all the trailers and everything that have been released?
I suppose it depends on what they mean by big things,
I think they're probably just Marvel fanboys.
Yeah, maybe.
Knobheads. Anyway.
Fanboys of anything seem to be knobheads
I'm not saying I'm not a Marvel fanboy, but...
No, but generally fanboys seem to be knobheads at the moment.
Just be a fan of everything.
Have you got a news story about a particular female actress from a Star Wars film in the news?
Ooh, no, don't think so.
So the young lady who plays the sidekick who turns out to be possible love interest of Finn in The Last Jedi. I can't remember the character's name.
Hang on. Is it? Rose.
Rose. That's it. Yeah, Rose. So she has removed herself from online after having an amazing year. That was pretty much her first big acting role.
Right.
Star Wars fans, for some reason, have decided, the ones that don't like the film, there seems to be a whole section of those entirely blaming her.
Star Wars Nazis.
And being utterly disgusting towards her.
Oh, dear.
And she's kind of removed herself from social media a bit because she couldn't really handle
People
it.
are arseholes, aren't they?
Yeah,
Jesus.
It's just like...
Unbelievable.
Well,
leave the girl alone.
If you don't like the film...
job.
It's not her fault if you don't like the film. It's probably anyone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yours, actually.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't like the movie.
I liked it, and I know there's problems.
Things. Allow things to just be. God damn it.
So, yeah, I just... to be honest, growing up as a bullied kid for enjoying anything from Star Trek to Star Wars to Back to the Future and all that... and constantly berated for it, it upsets me now we've got to this point where all the little groups of people that have come together to enjoy those things are now being, finding subcategories within those things to then be nasty and bitchy and horrible and often, far worse than the people that would have bullied me towards people that are creating or being involved in the stuff they're making.
Absolutely. If you're a Star Wars Nazi, or a Nazi in any way, shape or form, stop it. Stop it now. Stop it right now. Sort it out. Especially you, Donald Trump. God dear.
Yeah, you're making the Nazis look nice.
Yeah, it's very true. You and your bloody Russian laundered money. Anyway, right, that's way too political.
This is a show about fun things. Let's get to San Diego Comic-Con.
There is some actual Star Wars news, actually.
Oh, is there?
Well, that was Star Wars news, don't get me wrong. But yes, there is some positive Star Wars news in that there will be some more, what's the cartoon called?
Clone Wars?
Clone Wars, yes. There are going to be some more Clone Wars episodes, apparently.
Yeah. I was never a massive fan of it at the time, but then because of other people, including Ross, who've pointed me at certain episodes, I've watched it and then gone, actually, this is pretty good and a lot better than the prequel stories.
Right.
But set around the same time. So I'm up for some more, especially if they do it a lot better like
I've
Rebels.
never seen a single episode.
Have you not?
No. Do you think I should?
There's some good ones, yeah. The stuff involving Darth Maul's quite interesting.
Okay. Especially with like his part in, spoiler alert, the most recent Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably all relative, isn't it?
Probably all connects in some way in someone's head somewhere.
And if it doesn't, well, they'll just make it up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah, fan theories.
Anyway, look, we kind of skipped ahead. The box office. Do you want to know what's going on at the
box
office this week? Surprisingly, so we had a couple of sort of not huge titles released this week that have taken the top 2 spots.
Oh, really?
Well, at least I didn't expect them to be huge. The Equalizer 2 has taken the top spot.
Oh, the first one was very good, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks cool.
Yeah, I can imagine it. If it's as good as the first one, I can imagine it did, yeah.
Trailers are good. And again, we said this last week, that the people taking the top spot, the movies taking the top spot at this moment in time, aren't taking it, taking the positions in the top 10, shall we say, with very, very high takes. It's just... I suppose because there's so much going on in the cinema right now. Everybody's got so much good choice.
Yeah.
That, the money's fairly evenly spread across the field. So The Equalizer took 35, almost 36 million this week, for instance, in the USA. And that was enough to get them in at number 1.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, so it's not one of the big ones, but yeah.
And then Mamma Mia 2 is at number 2.
Not a surprise.
With 34 million.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to go in at number 1, to be honest. But
I can't stand that.
There's lots of chatter about.
Shit.
Hotel Transylvania was at like 35 last week, and that was at number 1 last week, so it's down to number 3. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp, Incredibles 2, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Skyscraper, The First Purge, Unfriended Dark Web, and Sorry to Bother You, which looks bloody amazing.
Sorry to Bother You, which one's that?
That's the one about a guy that works in like a dead-end call centre job.
Right.
And then he just works something out that just makes him ultra famous
Okay.
overnight.
Rad.
I don't know what it is that he works out, and I don't think you're supposed to know. It looks like one of these like slightly left field movies, kind of in the vein of, should we say, being John Malkovich, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of craziness to it.
Cool.
I love that sort of movie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's called Sorry to Bother You, by the way. So
on the note of Equalizer, I would say that the first Equalizer, in my eyes, is better than the John Wick films.
I've not seen it, so I'm going to go and watch it.
It's good. It is a remake of an old TV series.
Yeah. We discussed this recently. So it's the one that stars the guy from The Prisoner, yeah?
Yes. But yeah, I'd recommend anyone watch it if they like their sort of revenge-esque movies.
Okay.
Especially one set in a hardware store.
Oh, actually, yeah. I seem to remember that coming up in conversation about, some nasty things being done with hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
I'm definitely going to go and watch this.
Do like a nail gun.
Okie dokie. That's definitely on my watch list. Right, okay, news. James Gunn has been fired from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. Shocker.
Yeah. Totally unexpected for it to come out of nowhere suddenly like that. I wasn't expecting.
Come out of nowhere. However, we just mentioned bloody American political Nazis.
Yeah, that's true.
It's their fault, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. It's one of these things
I suppose
where
it's his fault originally, but yeah.
He made inappropriate, quite close to the mark and beyond the mark jokes. It's very similar to the trauma movies he would have been making
Well, kind of relative to.
Yes, yeah.
It was everything he was doing at that time was to do with shock, wasn't it?
Shock humour, shock violence.
And making stuff and saying stuff just to get a reaction out of people.
Yeah. And it was before he just before he started working for Disney.
It's like a decade ago, 10 years ago. Yeah.
Now, okay, people say you should never make rape jokes.
Well, yes, I suppose, but I've certainly heard comedians get away with it.
Exactly, yeah. His wording, not the greatest way of telling a joke about the subject, but again, like we said, it's probably shock tactics for what he was surrounded in movie-wise at the time. He did Super, he did Romeo and Juliet, so he worked for Troma doing things like Surfer Nazis Must Die. And
he must have been aware that this stuff was just sat there waiting for somebody to dig it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a bit
maybe,
silly that you haven't gone back and just deleted those tweets.
But then maybe he doesn't remember writing them. You know, like I can't remember what I wrote.
He's got to be a busy man.
I can't remember what I wrote on Facebook 10 years ago.
However, like what we're saying is like the style of what he was doing over the whole of that period would have been very similar to this. So you could expect a lot of what he was doing online to be
connected to trying out shock ideas for things. Admittedly, like
you'd have an agent go back and search through your stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would think.
And actually, that means that Disney aren't going to hire somebody unless they've done some serious groundwork, are they?
Well,
there's got an image.
There is also the rumour that one of the execs at Disney is quite good friends with Donald Trump, and James Gunn has been very vocal about how much he hates Donald Trump. Yeah,
absolutely.
So there have been rumours that it's to do with that, but
it's some of Donald Trump's political types that have dug this up, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know how much truth there is to that. I don't know who's involved. I just don't think that necessarily completely sacking someone over comments like this when there's people like Harvey Weinstein doing far worse who get away with it for a long time.
Very, very true.
That I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm not right wing. I'm not left wing. I try and look at everything from both points of view. I understand why people are upset with him. I understand his apology saying, I regret saying those things back then. He doesn't explain why, which I think is a shame. I think he should explain the sort of humour he was doing back then.
He has done. He's given some interviews and said, look, I'm a very different person now to what I was then,
Well, look at me. For anyone listening, I do comedy poetry. And if you looked at what I was doing 16 years ago compared to what I do now, there was a lot more swearing, there was a lot more aggression towards the audience. And over time, you change and realise that shock tactics aren't always needed, and actually you learn to become better at the art form that you're creating, and you can tell that with Guardians of the Galaxy. Even Super, although Super is quite extreme,
it's quite harsh.
It's very different to Troma.
Yeah, of course.
It's a very different.
Yeah, that early stuff of his is pretty sick, isn't it? But
so I think it's just a bit. Yeah, I don't know.
As of yesterday, 65,000 people have put together a petition to get him rehired. I personally think that Disney might just rehire him, and this will be taken as a kind of warning shot across the bow for all people.
Well, if they don't,
who might leave themselves in this silly sort of situation.
But then, if they don't take him back, they've also then got to get rid of Robert Downey Jr., who's had a criminal record.
Have to, but they do set a standard.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, if you're setting that standard with him, they are already employing other people that have done far worse.
What did Robert Downey Jr. go to prison for? Was it drugs?
Yeah, drug-related issues and driving.
They've hired Woody Harrelson just recently. His dad was a hitman, so all of his...
He's a big advocate for legalisation of cannabis.
Oh, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it is now, but like at the time of him doing stuff with Disney before, because I'm sure he's done stuff with them before. This is what I mean. It seems to be that there's one rule for one and one for another with their choice of how they deal with stuff like this.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of many more, but there have got to be loads of people with some seedy backgrounds.
Yeah, executives. Some dodgy stuff There's probably some dodgy execs in the Marvel films. So rehire him, Disney.
Come on.
Make him make an apology.
I personally think...
And he already has.
I personally think a third Guardians of the Galaxy movie without him is a bad idea.
If he's not in it, I know already that at least half the actors will leave.
Right.
Even though they're contracted, they'll be like, fuck it, I don't care.
Well, they've part of this petition, I think. They've certainly grouped together in the last few days to say that they're standing up for him. They're with him,
Dave Bautista's already said that he wouldn't do it if James... or he doesn't agree with the way that James Gunn's been treated.
Yeah, fair enough. Bizarre situation. We'll see what happens. So, any more Marvel stuff this week? Let's have a look. Hang on a sec. Oh, yeah, the super duper cut of Deadpool. There's a trailer for that. Oh, and it turns out that it's just the standard DVD release, right?
Going by Amazon.
Right.
I pre-order some films on Blu-ray when I like them, and Deadpool 2 was one of them. And when I went back to look on it after you talking about the super duper cut, I noticed that the photo for the only version of Deadpool 2 on Blu-ray is now the super duper cut version. There's that and a 3D super duper cut version.
Right, okay.
So I'm assuming that is the only Blu-ray version.
Okay, cool.
Seems to be anyway. There's no other mention of it anywhere else online.
And if going by memory, I think that's August 8th or something, 7th or 8th release in America, and September
the 6th,
over here.
September 6th or 7th over here, same time as the Blu-ray for Infinity War comes out.
Cool. So everybody will be watching it illegally mid-August then.
Yeah, they should just release... I don't understand why they don't just release TV, cinema, DVDs, Blu-rays, games, everything at the same time across the world now. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't it? Yeah. If they want to stop piracy, like, those of us that actually buy media would buy it more if it came out at the same time everywhere.
It's probably things getting tied up in distribution.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous. That's what I mean. It's ridiculous. So, absolutely ridiculous.
There we are. Anywho. Right.
Dickheads.
Black Panther, Sherry's getting her own Marvel comic. Don't know if you know about that. Avengers 4 will definitely have a definitive ending, according to Mr. Kevin Feige, which is good, because that means that you can get that complete box set of everything up until then.
Yeah.
And then, you'll have a nice, book-ended collection of DVDs, which is what I want.
I've got them all already.
Yeah.
I'll buy them as they come out.
I want the ones with, like, a nice image that runs all the way across the spines, you see.
You could probably just make your own.
Maybe.
I'll do some artwork.
Cool. Okay, I'll hold you to that. Right, DC stuff. Aquaman. There was a trailer.
Oh, it looks like... I don't know how trailers make me hate the idea of a film so much.
So half of me thought you might actually like this trailer, but no.
I liked the first 30-something seconds. It was like, oh, okay. Oh, this is possible. This might be good then.
Yeah.
Okay, this is looking interesting. It seems from the first beginning bit like they're going to take it a direction. Oh, no, wait, they're in the water. Everything looks Snyder Vision, but blurry because it's underwater. And all the acting just seems wooden. I don't like
the idea that they just have, like, it. I take it they're underwater and they're just clearly just talking to each other.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing just
how you get around it, what you do, because let's face it, that's an awkward thing to get around.
Yeah, yeah.
How do your characters speak to each other when they're underwater?
Yeah, like did bubbles come out their mouth, or because they're fish people, why do we not see gills doing something?
Well, yeah, but
there'll be something visually that would make it more interesting. But it's not that bothers me. It's the
vibration doesn't carry through water, so they'd all have to stand much closer to each other.
Yeah, unless they've got stronger vocal cords. I don't know. But no, it just the whole trailer. The story looks uninteresting. The action looks so ridiculously over the top.
It all looks exactly as I was expecting.
Justice League, Batman versus Superman again, but just underwater.
We will see. I've got high hopes, but I've always got high hopes.
I had no hopes at all.
I give everything the benefit of the doubt.
I try to, and then I had no hopes for this.
Doesn't mean I have to pay for a ticket, but you know.
I had no hopes for this, and then I saw the trailer, and I now have even less hopes than none.
Yeah.
Like, how can a trailer be that bad?
Oh well. I know what you mean though. The special effects, or at least the digitally created imagery looks a bit. But
the problem is,
and a bit.
All of it is digitally. Yeah. Like, other than the main actor, two actors in half of the shots.
There's everything else. A bit though, where a crowd go rah, and they all stick their hand up in the air at the same time, and I think that screams at me computer generated imagery.
Yeah. The only real person in the scene is him stood at the front.
Yeah,
and you just look at it and go, well,
it's early days. First trailer. They've got a lot of time to clean all this up.
Just have some extras. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When it's
some cardboard cutouts.
Even painted backgrounds like old Wizard of Oz and stuff.
Absolutely.
Jesus, like they did it. It looked good.
What about the Shazam trailer then?
Awesome.
Okay, it looks much better, doesn't it?
It's the only DC film so far, trailer-wise, when I've seen the trailer, that I've gone, I'd actually consider the cinema for this. Because unlike the others, it doesn't look like it's got Snyder vision.
No.
It doesn't look so gritty that when they chuck a joke in, it's going to feel weird and out of place.
Tonally, it looks like it's on point to me.
Yeah,
I think
it
looks like it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, I'm up for it. The kid looks cool. He seems to play the part quite well.
Yeah. He's a good little actor, that.
Yeah,
that
I
lad,
think it's
whoever
based on a very particular Shazam comic, which I started giving a read at one point.
New 52 version.
Yeah.
So it means that all the rest of his family will get powers as well at some point.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I haven't got that far into it. Cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I've not read it. But
No.
I just know this from poking around the internet today.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, do you know what? Like, yeah, it just looks... And the guy playing Shazam, he was the guy from Chuck. TV series about a guy who works in a computer shop and gets...
Oh, yeah. I've never seen it.
It's great fun.
Yeah, I heard, actually.
I'd
recommend
put that
on my watch list.
Yeah, I'd recommend watching it. Anyone that's up for a silly, American, fun, sitcom-y version of James Bond,
so he ends up with like
Born
loads of
Identity
secret stuff like crammed into his brain. He's like a human hard drive, right?
Yeah,
and
with everything
wants
from
the information.
Fighting styles to
so he's a badass
secret
as well.
information. Yeah, but but he doesn't know he is,
right?
And it just kind of happens sometimes, and he gets training from 2 other agents, and there are emotional bits in it as well. They did a nice mix of emotions and comedy, and I haven't seen him in anything since. So when I heard he was doing this, I was like, oh yeah, I'm well up for that.
Cool.
I think he'd do it good if it's going to be comical.
It looks like he can. Well, he can certainly carry a comical part by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it. Interestingly, the guy that plays the wizard dude that gives him his powers, he is in Aquaman as a different character.
Right.
He's also in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. Who is it? Who's the actor?
His name, I've got it here somewhere. Oh, it's Jimon Honsu. I think that's how you say it.
Oh.
He's the guy. Remember in Guardians of the Galaxy, the opening scene where Peter Quill is on the planet collecting the orb.
Yeah.
And what are the guys called? Are they called Reavers?
Yeah.
They turn up and they try and take it from him.
Yeah, there's 2 of them and a main one.
Yep, so the main one. That's the dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
He's quite recognisable.
Yeah,
I think you've seen him in quite a few things. If you go back and look on IMDb, you'll realise you've seen him in loads and loads of stuff.
Oh, I didn't realise it was him.
Oh, and he's going to be in the Captain Marvel movie as well. Because it's the same character from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Korath his name is, I think.
Cool.
So yeah, that's Captain Marvel and not... What's
Shazam?
Shazam's original name?
Captain Marvel, isn't it? No,
it's Marvel Man.
Marvel Man.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Just to confuse things. Anyway,
it's always confusing, isn't it?
Batwoman. Do you like a bit of Batwoman?
Do you know what?
Because
I can't think of much Batwoman I've ever ingested, comic book wise or TV show wise. I don't remember her in the animated series.
The only thing I've ever seen her in was the Injustice comic, and her character's pretty cool. And
I've never read
character.
Injustice.
Have you not?
No.
You should give it a go.
I remember her appearing, I think maybe in Cataclysm, the story where Gotham has an earthquake and it's like all the sort of gangs separate out and Batman and the police are working together with various heroes to take back the streets of Gotham, and I remember her being in that at one point. But yeah, never a big... No, she's never really interested me.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's getting her own TV series because... I'm going to drop an F-bomb here. Warning, ladies and gentlemen. You might know why. Fuck Batman.
Fuck Batman?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'll explain in a minute. So, yeah, she's getting her own TV series.
How dare you?
On the CW.
Right.
Which will bring... Well, she's Bruce Wayne's cousin, Kate Kane, to the Arrowverse. So it will be shared with that one.
Right, okay. So it's basically because they can't have a Batman in...
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And at the same time, so we had a Teen Titans live-action trailer.
I missed that.
You've not seen it?
Yeah, I haven't seen it
yet. So that's
yet.
where the fuck Batman thing comes from.
Right, okay.
It's a line. Like he says it. This is going to be a very adult show. Teen Titans. There's loads of blood in it.
Oh.
Like some serious violence.
Oh, so it's not actually going to be aimed at teenagers?
No.
Wow.
No, it's going to be really adult by the looks of it. But at the same time, it's going to be tied to the Arrowverse by the looks of it.
Oh, okay. So Arrow is kind of above teenage. the other shows are kind of teenage, and then this will be the upper end of... This will be more like Daredevil is compared to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I guess so. But I suppose the reason it's more adult and they can get away with it being more adult is because it's specifically being produced for their streaming service.
Right, okay.
So I can't remember what that's called.
DC streaming bullshit. I'm not going to pay out. I'm not going to pay out for an extra streaming, so just put it on Netflix. Stop trying to make your own, like Disney are doing their own bloody streaming service. I don't want to pay for another streaming service. Just put it all on the one or two that I already pay for.
It's just called DC Universe.
Wow.
Imaginative.
Yeah, that's clever, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Swamp Thing's not going to be connected to those, apparently.
Oh,
so
right.
there's a Swamp Thing TV show as well. Yeah. Well, it's a TV show. A show being produced for their streaming service as well. But that's not going to be connected to Teen Titans.
What is going on?
They're gonna, if they keep doing this, they're going to either screw up the TV stuff as well, which they shouldn't, because that's the best thing they've got going for them at the moment. Or they'll just confuse everybody and lose the market. I just don't know.
I just don't think that creating shows specifically for your streaming service when you've already got CW and other channels doing great DC stuff anyway. Okay, Black Lightning's not as good. I kind of...
It's coming back for a second season, though, isn't it?
I'm not
it's been quite popular.
Not so keen on
like it.
No. And then Gotham's a pile of pants.
Well, that's being finished anyway, isn't it?
Good.
Yeah, I think this is the last season that's just
Will they surprise everyone by then doing a series called Batman?
Who knows? Anything could happen.
Maybe they'll give up on the films and just actually go, right, we're just going to do a Batman TV show.
I'd be up for that,
and do it properly.
Yeah.
And have all the Rogues Gallery and link it to Flash and to all the other shows. And you can have it dark and gritty, but then Batman can appear in Flash sometimes and be a little bit more, like, not so gritty.
I can imagine, like, a 1920s styled, like, noir kind of...
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe that's too close to the animated show.
Yeah,
I don't know.
just set it in modern time, linked to all Flash in that way.
Future Batman.
Oh yeah.
That's always cool.
Yeah, that cartoon series was awesome.
It was, yeah. Right. Anyway, Any more DC stuff?
I'm trying to think. I bet I've wrote some notes down myself this week because it was San Diego Comic-Con. What have I written down? Oh no, that's a poem about seagulls.
Right, no, I can't see any more.
No, I just wrote Shazam looks great.
There is some Spiderman stuff, but I don't know why I've separated that off. I suppose it's Sony owned, isn't it? So before we talk about that, Judge Dredd, the TV show.
Mega City 1.
Yes.
So I don't know why everyone keeps calling it Dredd the series.
Well, yeah, just frame of reference, I suppose.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So last week we mentioned about the Rogue Trooper movie being made, which is quite exciting.
Duncan Jones.
We kind of spoke about that, I don't know, months and months ago on the podcast and suggested it would be a good idea. So, yeah, amazing news for us.
I'm happy with that, very happy.
But the Judge Dredd Mega City 1 show is moving forward with the comic writer Rob Williams. Do we know Rob Williams?
Yeah, he's been involved in quite a lot of Judge Dredd stories, things like Trifecta and other modern comic stories as well as some of the older ones. Yeah, he's a good writer.
Cool. So he has finished the pilot script and we have an overall...
Yeah, so he's sort of finished it with the team of writers that they've got at Rebellion, linked with the guy who was the showrunner for Game of Thrones, Battlestar Galactica and something else. I can't think what the other program is, but they've it sounds like they've proper put the work in. They're not pussying about. They're getting on with it and doing it, which I am very happy about.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Looking forward to it. So, basically, instead of being about one specific character, it'll be like an ensemble cast, kind of looking at different characters and what they do on a day-to-day basis and stuff, and following them around. It's going to be amazing. When's it out? Do we know?
No, there's no
release date
definite date. 2000 AD Thrill Fest. They said, I think they said it would probably take us about 5 years.
Well, probably aiming for 2020 or something.
I imagine, yeah. It may go quicker if things go well and the funding comes in and people are up for it.
We'll see. Everybody's up for it.
I am definitely.
What about Glass? M. Night Shyamalan's latest trailer. That was out today as well. All these trailers are on our Facebook page, by the way, if you want to go and have a look at them.
Dun, dun, dun.
But yes, there's a trailer for Glass.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Unbreakable's one of my favourite films of all time.
Okay.
Because it's a flawless adaptation of the standard hero versus nemesis idea of comics to show people that have never read comics.
Okay.
It's just an easy, understandable, makes sense film.
Right.
But a bit gloomy and dark at the same time.
Yeah.
Split was...
It's got some awesome, like, really, strange uses of dramatic music and stuff in places.
Yeah.
However,
we'll
not worry about that right now.
Yeah. Split was... Again, probably the first M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong film that I've seen in years that I actually liked.
Yep, that's a good one.
So, looking at the trailer, I have no idea what the storyline is, but the three of them are in a room together at one point, chained to chairs.
Looks like they're in an asylum, and they're being...
Or a prison, or a facility, I don't know, but I'm up for it. It seems good.
James McAvoy looks incredible in it.
Yeah.
Like... The physical transformations of the character look like they're really going for it this time. I suppose they've got to. It's more of a showpiece of the three characters.
Bruce Willis somehow looks just like he did in Unbreakable.
Yeah.
He's got that look back. No, he doesn't seem to. And Samuel L. Jackson as Glass. It was so nice to see that character again.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
Mr. Glass.
Actually really taken by this trailer. Very much looking forward to it.
And even if it's not as good as the other two, it's just more of those characters, so I'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not as good.
It's great that you can have something that's about superheroes that still feels fresh. Right, Walking Dead. Not so brilliant.
No.
It's launched... the Season 9 trailer is out, and it's Rick Grimes is the main character's last season.
Right.
So whether or not the TV show will last much longer after that, I don't know.
Hopefully they'll finish it when he dies. They'll get 2 episodes in, he'll die, they'll end the series, that's it. Just 2 episodes.
It's supposed to be the end of... But it's supposed to be... The Walking Dead is supposed to be about the life of Rick Grimes, and when in the comic, when he dies, the comic book series will end.
Yeah.
Now that means... they've said that it's going to be around issue 300. So we worked it out a few weeks back. It turns out it's like another decade before the comics finish.
Right.
However, they are, by the looks of it, from what I've seen in the trailer, they're going for some of the stuff that's in the most recent comics. So there's a bit of a time jump. Spoiler alert for anyone just reading the comics, but there's a time jump of like 5 years at some point.
Oh.
And
are they literally going to put 5 years later on the screen at the beginning of the series?
Maybe. It's possible.
Great. I love it when things do that.
They'd have to do something because they end up like living in really sorted, like proper communities.
Yeah.
There are 3 or 4 of them that are all collaborating and stuff, and like everything's sorted and everything's cool. You think,
right? For
now, sort of thing. It looks very much like they're doing that in the next season. Interesting, but at the same time, I'm not going to watch it.
I've got no interest in it anymore.
There you go.
I like my zombie stuff, but I don't like that.
Actually, looking at it, Iron Fist, there was some more Marvel news. There's a second season of Iron Fist coming in September 7th.
The trailer looks good. And have you watched Luke Cage season 2 yet?
No. I'm going to do the same as Jessica Jones. Just
wait a bit. Okay.
Just pick at it. Watch it a little bit here and
there. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but Luke Cage in Luke Cage series 2, Iron Fist appears at one point.
Right.
And he acts much better. His choreography and martial arts are much better.
Cool.
Not brilliant, but like you can tell that I think they put that in there to let you know that he is being trained and we are making him better and the second season will be better.
Right.
And then we might merge both their series together. I think that's the direction they're going.
Fingers crossed. Because they work very well together, don't they?
Yeah, when they've always been together in the comics, even when they've split apart and done their own thing or gone off with the Avengers or whatever, they always end up coming back together.
Like some kind of teen romance.
They're just bros, man.
Yeah, man. Not that sort of... No. Anyway, right.
Don't.
No, I'm not going to. Spider-Man. Let's talk about Spider-Man. So, Into the Spider-Verse. There was a panel at Comic-Con. So... They've revealed a few more characters.
Yeah.
Including Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
And who's the female Peter Parker? What's her name?
The female Peter Parker, or just or Gwen Stacy as Spider-Man?
No,
Silk.
the female Peter Parker. Hang on a sec. I've got her name written down here somewhere. Penny Parker.
Penny Parker. Yeah.
Voiced by Kimiko Glenn. So she's the one. She's got like a mobile suit thing, right? Like a robot suit.
Yeah. In the Spider-Verse comics, her dad is she's Japanese.
Yeah, that's right.
And her dad is the Spider-Man, but actually what it is it's basically like a Gundam type suit thing that he wears to go and fight crime, and then he dies and it's passed to her sort of thing. The Edge of the Spider-Verse comics and the Spider-Verse comics were amazing, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of these characters. I just managed to get myself the Spider-Punk action figure and the Spider-Man UK action figure from the Spider-Verse comics that they released a little while ago. So I'm up for more Spider-Verse-ness.
Do we know who John Mulaney is, by any chance?
John Mulaney.
He's going to be voicing Spider-Ham anyway. He's a stand-up comedian. Looking at the profile that's come up on Wikipedia.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I don't recognise his face.
No, it's not who I thought it was. So I ain't got a clue. No idea. But
Anywho, if you know who he is,
Spider-Ham.
that's who Spider-Ham is.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be great. It's Christmas time it comes out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect Christmas movie.
It's just a brilliant year for movies generally, isn't it? Yeah, it just doesn't lit up.
No.
Like all year, we've just got awesome things happening in the cinema. Anyway, look, Venom.
Oh, yeah.
You don't sound like you're up for it much.
No, not in the slightest.
No?
No. The more I see of it, the less I want to watch it.
We said about this last week, the fact that it reminds me massively of Spawn. So,
it is Todd McFarlane, so like inspiredness.
What, Venom?
Yeah.
Did he write the original Venom?
Spawn? No, I don't think he wrote it. But there was definitely some inspiration crossover there.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. But yes, there are some new Venom details announced at Comic-Con as well. So Riz Ahmed, that's the guy. It's been in a lot of like British comedy and 3 Lions. Did you ever see that movie?
Love that.
Yeah.
4 Lions.
4 Lions. Sorry,
yeah.
3 Lions is another movie, isn't it?
Don't know. 4 Lions is
it's
amazing.
A song.
Chris,
I've heard it a couple of times on the radio recently for some reason. But yeah, so he has confirmed that he will become the symbiotic villain Riot.
Right. Okay.
During the movie, so that's one of your bad guys.
Yeah.
And Woody Harrelson has been confirmed as Carnage for this movie and a sequel.
Yeah.
The director sounds pretty...
Venom was created, but it was Todd McFarlane, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, that's why I had Todd McFarlane in my head. I thought I was wrong, but no, he was the artist of the original Venom.
That explains a lot, doesn't it?
It was the 90s era Marvel. He did some bits and bobs with Spider-Man and obviously, the crossover look of Spawn and stuff. And then,
Did he have anything to do with, what's the Marvel equivalent of Spawn? That's Nightwatch or something, is it?
No idea.
The guy that looks a lot like Spawn. Like, it's exactly the same character.
No idea. I didn't even know that character existed.
I'll tell you about it another time. I think he's been put forward for a movie.
Oh.
Which, again, why would you do it? Just leave that character alone, because Spawn's coming out. You know? And Venom.
I just... the thing is, with Venom, it's not related to Spider-Man as such. They haven't really said yes or no, but they've said more no than they've said yes. And then to instantly chuck in other characters, other symbiote characters like Riot and Carnage and stuff, just seems like they're doing what they did wrong with Spider-Man 3 of having too many...
As long as they don't go too mental, they can just...
Of course they're going to go mental. You saw the first trailer.
However, I can imagine the look of 3 symbiotes fighting on screen is going to look like a mess. Yeah. You can imagine Venom, Carnage and Riot all on the screen at the same time,
are good
wrapping
now.
Around each other.
Yeah.
It's going to look terrible.
Yeah, graphics are good now, but I just don't think they'll pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have faith in... And I don't think Venom is a good enough character.
No?
No.
It's very popular.
Yeah, but it's like Wolverine. Wolverine on his own very rarely works. He needs to be with other characters to work. You need the softer, more heartfelt, soulful characters around Wolverine to make his rough exterior and his softer inside make more sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
Same as
people to bounce off, sort of.
Yeah, same as Venom. You kind of need Spider-Man for Venom to exist, but then you also need other characters. Like if Venom is good Venom, someone who's wearing it as it becomes good, then like in the comics, he hangs around with the Guardians of the Galaxy and does stuff with them, or he works for an agency and then is under control. If he's a villain...
What, you mean like temping in an office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typing away with those long... No, he just needs... I just don't think he's a strong enough character to have his own film. Not yet. Like, they need to build up to it in other films. Like, introduce him in Spider-Man and lead to him making sense and then do his own film.
We will see how it turns out.
Yes.
The director has kind of said, don't really expect Tom Holland to be in it, though.
No.
Which might be a misdirect, but we'll see.
We never know.
You never, ever, ever know unless
someone leaks
you missed it, Meg. Oh, yeah, or somebody leaks it, yeah. Right, Mark Millar.
Yeah.
Millar. His,
Miller.
all of his stuff for Netflix has all been confirmed.
Yeah. And weirdly, not any of his comics that I thought would have been chosen.
Do you know what they are? Legacy...
Jupiter Rising.
Rising.
And... Oh, what's the other one?
Bounty Hunter?
Is it Bounty Hunter?
Sharky the Bounty Hunter.
Sharky, yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised there's not Nemesis.
And Empress. There's another one as well.
Nemesis was by far his best strip in the Clint magazines that he released Kick-Ass 2 in. Because he did a British magazine called Clint where he released... stuff like Kick-Ass 2, Nemesis, Jupiter Rising, Kingsman, and then had people like Jonathan Ross and other British comedians, Frankie Boyle and Jimmy Carr, did comics that were in it. And yeah, I'm surprised they haven't gone for the more interesting ones. I don't know why, because Jupiter Rising is very... kind of dark, but very superhero-y.
Rightio. What's it about?
I can't remember, to be honest. It's been ages since I read it.
Did we say Jupiter Legacy? So it sounds as if it's just possibly being called Legacy.
Yeah, I get confused with the titles as well. It's all mixed up because there's each volume of the Jupiter stuff is a different, like Jupiter Legacy, Jupiter Rising, Jupiter Royal or something.
I've got some notes here. Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
The multi-generational story of a superhero and of superheroes and their powered children.
Yeah.
Who struggle to live up to the legacy of their parents.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds all right.
It sounds all right. It's not as good as Nemesis and some of his other comics that I think would have been much better series.
Before we move along too far, the projects are going to be a TV series based on Jupiter's legacy and then 3 movies. So the 3 movies will be American Jesus, Empress, and Sharky the Bounty Hunter.
Okay, they make more sense as films. But yeah, I'm surprised Nemesis and others won't. Maybe they're owned by whoever it is that's got the rights to Kick-Ass and Kingsman. Because Netflix haven't got the rights to do anything with those. They're staying with the people that made those.
Yeah.
So
we're possibly getting a Kick-Ass reboot, aren't we? So
yeah, but maybe Nemesis has the rights to that and other strips from his Clint magazine will go over to them.
And 12 bloody Kingsman movies as well, wasn't it?
Yes.
And a TV series.
Yeah.
This guy is going to be rolling in it, isn't he?
He already is.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's a couple of people locally here where we live that know him, are friends with him.
All right.
And they don't say he's not doing badly or anything. Do you know what I mean?
He's got a little house in the country, you know.
Yeah, he's happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably doesn't need to work anymore, but probably will because he's like that. He wants to work, which is good.
Synopses for these properties. Look, American Jesus is about a 12-year-old kid who discovers that he's Jesus reborn.
Yeah.
So that's like a superhero story in itself. Empress.
It's not how you're saying it. Like,
is it not?
Super? No, it is, but it isn't. Like all his stuff, all of these properties are very adult.
Super dark stuff.
Like, not super dark necessarily, but super adult. You know,
Okay.
they won't be 12s, put it that way.
Okay.
15s or most likely 18s.
They're on Netflix, so it doesn't matter. Anything goes.
Yeah.
There's no...
No, exactly.
no governing body. Right, okay, so Empress is something to do with a woman who's married to a galactic dictator who escapes from his palace and, well, with their children, and they need to find a place to hide. And, yeah, I don't know. Read up on that if you want to know more about it. And Sharky the Bounty Hunter is a blue-collar type who tracks down criminals across the galaxy in a rocket-powered ice cream truck.
Yep, that's exactly how it sounds.
Okay. Bizarre.
Yeah.
Battle Angel Alicia. No, Alita. I've always called it Alicia. I don't know why.
I've had it called that by a lot of people. I have never seen the words to know if it's different.
Battle Angel Alita. That's our last bit of comic book news. Trailer. Did you see a trailer for it?
I haven't, no.
It
I kind of
looks
avoided
incredible.
it. Yeah, I kind of, I don't know if I want to watch it yet. I've been so disappointed by so many trailers.
Right.
I don't want this one to ruin the idea of the film for me.
The thing I like about the look of this movie is that, yes, it's incredibly embroiled with CGI,
right?
But it adds to the character of the movie. It kind of makes it look as if it's like live anime.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the idea they're going for, isn't it?
Yeah.
They kind of did that a little bit with Ghost in the Shell, not as much, but it was still there. You know?
I like that.
Yeah,
it looks
yeah,
great.
I don't mind it.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to this film.
I'm interested.
Go and watch the trailer, dude. It's worth it.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch.
It's beautiful. Right.
One last bit of comic book news.
Oh, go on.
IDW, who have just recently lost or are losing the rights to the Transformer comics, and they're gradually finishing off the stories.
Okay.
Have announced that the Transformers writer will be rejuvenating and bringing back the GoBots as comic books.
No. Amazing.
So how that's going to work and how it'll be, don't know. But I was quite excited when I heard that. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm up for that.
Did they have crossover stories at some point? I seem to
I
remember
don't
there
think
being
so.
a GoBots and
No, they were
Transformers
always
crossover.
very against each other, weren't they? So
fair enough.
Yeah.
I just want to see what they serve in the GoBots canteen. You know, what do they have? Motor oil, slushies. I don't. What? What do they serve in there? It's in the bloody fortress thing, isn't it? Do you remember the toy fortress, the GoBots one? There's a canteen in there. Why is there a canteen?
Oh, I don't know. They're robots. More news.
Right, TV stuff.
Gone.
We had a first look and a trailer for Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
Looks great.
It just still doesn't look Star Trek.
No, it doesn't. It looks like something new, and I like that.
No, I don't mind it looking like something new. It just...
Oh, but at the same time, it looks like something old.
It doesn't have the essence.
The, first-generation costumes are back.
Only for, the first few seconds of the trailer, and then they're all in the weird space outfits
Captain
again.
Pike, when he's, all the way through,
Yeah.
whenever he appears on screen, is wearing, an old-style captain's uniform.
Until they do the outer space bit where they're all in the weird spacesuits.
Wow.
I liked the first series of Discovery, but...
I like the first half.
It made me want to watch Deep Space Nine instead, because it just didn't... It doesn't have the oomph and the essence. It's almost like they've gone, well, if we give it steroids and put it on Ritalin, then people will watch it. And it's like, well, no, you've missed the point of what was good about Star Trek.
I love those occasional episodes where they really break your heart.
Yeah.
You know?
It wasn't all about fast-paced action scenes and flying in between rocks in swirly, spinny spaceships and having jetpacks and...
Data episodes in The Next Generation, for instance.
Yeah.
I've shed many a tear at those, I wish I could be human episodes.
All the stuff that all the characters in Deep Space Nine went through with all the political and religious storylines to do with the Cardassians and the Bajorans and stuff. There's so much that wasn't fast-paced, and you had action in there still, but it wasn't all the time, whereas this show seems to... Even when they're doing something where it could just be a conversation between some people and then one person pulls out a gun to shoot and someone else shoots them and it's done with, instead they have 15 people having a shootout and everyone diving behind things and explosions, and I don't know if I can deal with a whole nother series of just constant over-the-top action instead of drama.
the whole of Star Trek, I think I'm right in saying the whole of Star Trek is now on Netflix, isn't it?
Yes.
Have you noticed?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I've rewatched all of it except Next Generation because it's so hard to rewatch Next Generation.
Really?
Yeah, compared to the other shows, I just
started watching Deep Space Nine again, and
love it. Love it.
The first episode's a little bit of a grind.
Yeah. Once you get past the first couple in Deep Space Nine, it gets really good throughout and gets better and better.
I mistakenly, because Jilly, my other half, has never really watched Star Trek at all, so I said, watch this is amazing. And sat down and watched the first episode of Deep Space Nine, and that was the wrong move.
Yeah. You need to chuck her. Yeah, you need to chuck her in with the Klingons turning up.
Yeah. Okay.
Season 2 or 3. Yeah. I don't know. There was bits about this trailer that looked good, but yeah, I don't know if I can handle more of the same.
We'll see how they handle it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's getting rebooted.
Yeah, me and my mate were talking about this the other week.
It's quite strange, isn't it?
He's a massive Buffy fan, and it came up on Netflix about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and we sat down to rewatch it from the beginning because I couldn't really remember it, and he loves it. He even reads the comics that carry the story on.
Right.
And we watched the first 2 episodes, and it's so dated. It's unbearable.
I hated the TV show, personally.
Yeah, I quite liked it.
Obviously a massive following, but...
Yeah, I quite liked it when I was younger, but it's unwatchable now.
There were just the occasional episodes that really got me. The musical one, for instance, that was very cool.
Yeah. The puppets. Or was that Angel? I don't know. I get confused. There's one where they're all puppets. That might have been Angel.
Okay.
But yeah, it'd be interesting. Joss Whedon's still involved. I just don't know what the...
Executive producer. So yeah, I guess that means he's funding.
Yeah.
And
but the writer is someone that was involved in some S.H.I.E.L.D. with him.
Oh, right, okay.
The main sort of writer. She was one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. writers. So she's worked with him for a long time. Yeah, I don't know.
The new Buffy will be an African-American.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. There was the Jamaican Slayer in the Buffy series, wasn't there, later on? So they can obviously be any race, creed or colour.
Yeah, there's Slayers from all over the world, aren't there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In the comics, set after the actual TV series, there's no one hunter anymore. There's no gifted or chosen one. There's loads, and Buffy turns out not to be as good as all the others that are better trained after that point, so she goes and gets a job working as a doorman in Vegas, and then things start to happen and she has to kind of go back and help. But yeah, I'm interested. It just depends whether they go cheesy, teenage, a little bit more if they go too serious, it won't work. If they go too cheesy, it won't work.
Yeah, true.
You've got to get that mix right.
You kind of need to appeal to the people the original fans, and attract some new ones, right? So, like with Star Trek, really.
Yeah.
Nightflyers, there's a trailer for that.
Nightflyers?
Yes, that's George Railroad Martin's.
Oh, yeah.
J.R.R. Martin's sci-fi show.
Right, okay, yeah, I remember this being mentioned.
It looks very intriguing.
But does it look good?
I would say yes. It looks very, very well produced. And it's George R.R. Martin, so you can imagine that the character depth will be there. It's being produced by Netflix. Loads of money being chucked at it. Certainly looks tasty.
But just because Game of Thrones was so good, does it mean another thing written by him will be any good?
Who knows?
This is the thing.
If anyone's read the book out there, perhaps they could write in and let us know.
Yeah.
Tell us what it's about, man. Whether or not you're excited for this.
Because I know nothing about it. I've seen the books in the library, but I haven't got a clue what it's about or
just
anything.
Read the back.
To it.
Read the back next time.
And sometimes that doesn't really give you anything, and they cleverly word it in a way that makes you go, I'm more confused than before I read the blurb.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like first contact with an alien civilization, basically. So it looks a bit like... What was the film about the guy, the crew that go out into space to find a crew that have gone missing on a space hulk of some sort?
Event Horizon?
Yeah, Event Horizon. That's
okay. I wasn't sure if that's where you were going or whether you were thinking Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but then you said in space. I was getting lost.
Probably another film that's best left as a memory, isn't it?
Yes. It's horrendous.
At the time, I quite enjoyed it, but looking back...
terrible.
It's probably quite ropey. But yes, so it looks a bit Event Horizon-y, and...
Cool.
But at the same time, bang up to date.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a trailer for it. Go and look at it. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who? There was a
trailer.
a
Looks
trailer for
good.
that. Yeah.
It's quite weird to see old what's his name acting. The host of The Chase.
Right, I don't know.
Brian.
No idea who this person is.
Oh, what's his name? Brian. He's a British entertainer. Like, he's been hosting TV shows and doing little bits of acting here and there and comedy shows for years.
Okay.
And he's going to be one of her companions.
One of her best friends.
Yeah, I can't think what his name is now. That's really bad.
Do you want me to look it up?
No.
No, fair enough.
People work it out. I'm
not a Doctor Who fan, but I'm going to at least try an episode or two. I do this every single time Doctor Who gets a new season, though. I go, I'm quite interested and quite intrigued, and then I watch a couple of episodes and I'm reminded why I don't really like Doctor Who. So,
why don't you like it?
Because it's aimed at children.
Well, no, it's not. It's family entertainment. I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
It's something you watch with your kids.
Yeah.
Whether they're little kids or teenagers, there's something for everyone in it.
Sure.
People like little kids aren't going to get the nuances of the sexuality of the character Bill in the latest series, whereas teenagers and adults will. You know, the sort of storylines involving that compared to just it's a monster.
Right.
So yeah, it's a bit. I love it. Just every version of it. I just think it changes whenever the Doctor changes, the show changes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it changes a lot, and sometimes it doesn't change as much. You know?
I've always watched the Christmas specials, no matter what. Yeah. You know, even though I've not kept up with the show.
The 50th anniversary special, not even a Christmas one. If you haven't seen that,
is that the one with all the Doctors in it?
With John Hurt.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's very good. I very much enjoyed that. Was like, yeah,
it's quite emotional. That one.
Doctor Who gets me crying more than anything else. Like, I watched an episode with my girlfriend. She's never watched Doctor Who. We watched an episode. I got a bit tearful, and then she turned around to me and went, "I don't even know who these people are," and I'm crying.
Dr. Wolf's more like.
So it shows how powerful it can be on someone that's never watched it.
Yeah, true.
She started crying, and she didn't even understand what she was watching.
There you go. 50% of Doctor Who fans in the world hate this, don't they? Because the female thing. But
really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said it was 50%.
Don't you think?
No.
There's certainly a lot of people screaming about it.
Do you know what? Online...
Or at least initially there were.
Online, more women I know hate the idea that it's going to become a woman than men.
I noticed that.
Most men are like, yeah, whatever, cool, go for it. I'm up for another change. Whereas more female fans of Doctor Who I know, not all of them, but quite a few, have been very aggressively against it.
Yeah.
They've like, fuck you, BBC, I'm not going to watch it anymore. How dare you do this? Like, and reactions like that. And it's like, why not? Like, it's never been stated in the rules that the Doctor is always a man.
No. And you have to kind of like, I don't know, if you want to keep it fresh and interesting, you've got to try these things.
Yeah.
You know, female Ghostbusters, female Doctor Who's.
Yeah, difference for female Ghostbusters was it was badly made.
Yeah, well.
It wasn't that they were female.
At the same time, you'd understand and give it credit for what it's trying to do. It might be a bad movie, but that's a different matter. Really.
I'm not giving it credit for anything because it was so bad. If it had been a good film or an okay film, I'd give it credit for what it was trying to do.
Fair enough.
I understand what they were trying to do. They did it very poorly. Yeah. Whereas Doctor Who, I don't imagine they will. I think they'll treat it very well and they'll do it very good. There might be a couple of moments where they do slightly cheesy jokes where you go, oh, really? But that's Doctor Who in general.
Cool. Right, look, we mentioned The Walking Dead earlier. I'm going to mention it again.
Oh, no.
Greg Nicotero, I think his name is. He's the special effects wizard who does all the stuff for The Walking Dead. He's pretty good, apparently. And he's working on a new Creepshow series.
Creepshow?
Creepshow, yeah. Do you remember it? It was like an anthology movie type thing.
A bit like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly like Tales from the Crypt, yeah. So you'd have one movie, but it's like split up into 4, and they're introduced by a guy in a crypt. Cool.
Will it be 4 different directors doing each section?
Who knows?
That would be great fun if it is.
But you've got this guy on special effects. That is definitely happening. It's a TV series. I don't know where it's going to be shown.
Right.
That's all the news I have right now on that particular subject. Yes, so other stuff. Right, Godzilla.
Looks amazing.
King of the Monsters.
Yeah, I'm up for
There's a trailer for that. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It looks bloody incredible, doesn't it?
And it looks like they've realised the mistake they made with the first one, and actually the humans are less important. So the storylines involving the humans aren't going to be so wrapped around the love of a soldier and his girlfriend, or the soldier and his dad, or any of that stuff. It's going to be more to do with the characters' connections to the actual creatures, which I think is how they should have gone in the first one.
There are some quite cool little Easter eggs in the trailer.
Yeah.
Did you hear or read about this?
I noticed a couple of things, but there are other things I briefly read about. Go on.
There's a scene where there are soldiers running towards an Arctic base, and that base is called Outpost 32. The thing took place in Outpost 31.
Oh, okay.
So that could be a nod. It
Nice.
might just be
coincidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, it might be a nod, as in, yeah.
But the second one is much, much more convincing for me. So there's a shot featuring a temple and like loads of red beams firing up into the sky and stuff. And on the right-hand side, there's a statue of the demon Pazuzu, which is the one that possesses the girl in The Exorcist.
Nice.
So yeah,
one with the sugary lips.
That's the one. Anyway, this trailer, it looks cool. I like the glimpses of the creatures, Mothra and King Ghidorah. Is that his name? The three-headed thing.
Kindora. I could never pronounce it right. Like the silhouettes and little moments are amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I will watch this.
If you've not seen the trailer, of course, that is also on our Facebook page, along with all these we're talking about, including Adam's favourite, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the sequel. Yay! Adam? Crimes of Grindelwald. Yes, there is a trailer. It is on our Facebook page. Eddie Redmayne is the world's greatest actor.
Do you know what? I watched this trailer.
Okay.
Out of interest, because of all of the angry people saying Johnny Depp shouldn't be in a film and blah, 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 a little while ago.
Okay.
So I was like, right, okay, well, they've obviously still put him in it. Like, the situation was talked about, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, he's been looking ill recently. I thought, well, how does he look in the film? So I watched the trailer. It kind of looks like they've done what Star Wars did with the prequels for Harry Potter. There's a lot of people jumping around, shooting things out of sticks in weird ways that you never saw happen. In Harry Potter, everyone seems to be stood still doing the magic, and then occasionally they might move out of the way of someone else's magic. In this, they're diving about and flying through the air. And
they did it with the trailers for the first movie as well, but if you watch the film, it's actually very well paced, and it's quite well put together. If they can keep the same sort of crafting that they had with the first film in this second movie, they're onto a winner, because they did a very good job. I know you don't like the subject matter, but
no,
but yeah.
Well, it's not that I don't like the subject matter. It's just not. I don't find it that interesting. It's more the fact that they've managed to already create 2 films now out of a pamphlet. That's my issue. Yeah. That's my issue with it. Like, not even like a full pamphlet.
It's all right though, because it's stuff that you're right. Yeah, fantastic.
She hasn't written it. Do you know what I mean?
No.
She hasn't written.
Well, she has. She's written the films, but yeah.
Yeah. But what I mean is, like, it
wasn't a book first.
Yeah. They didn't base it on the book, but it is good that they've got her in to help write the films, rather than it being just some execs found some writers and went base it on this pamphlet.
Just sell.
At least she knows the ideas that were put into the pamphlet based upon her own ideas. So
and the characters that are in the film and arriving in this collection, I think it's going to be 5 films if I'm not mistaken. They're all characters that have been mentioned in Harry Potter stories before. So this world war that's happening in the wizardy world is mentioned somewhere along the way. But I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. In honesty, I didn't like the films. I've never read the books. But in my opinion, the first Fantastic Beasts movie is the best Harry Potter film. That's probably quite a bold statement for some of you out there, but hey, that's
I haven't seen
just
any
the way
of
I feel.
it, so.
Have you not seen any of them at all?
I started watching the first one and went, this is crap.
Yeah, it's not a great...
Tried watching bits of the other ones because other people were watching them and just ended up
going...
The
child acting is appalling, really bad, all the way through. And now we're stuck with this guy, bloody Daniel Radcliffe. Anyway, right. Quinton Tarantino's Once Upon a Time the release date has been moved away from the Manson murder anniversary, which is probably a sensible move.
Which one? Is this the one about...
It's set in with the murders are going on in the backdrop. It's set in Hollywood at the time.
Oh, okay.
And it's not specifically about Charles Manson or the murders.
It's just
going
on.
That stuff is going on in the background.
Right. Okay.
And there's something to do with the film is following an actress, and somehow she's embroiled with it in some way, shape, or form. But it's not about Charles Manson.
No.
Releasing it on the date of the anniversary of the murders is a silly move. So I think, good decision. Move it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Disassociate it.
Well, yeah, especially as, like, quite often he gets a lot of flack for the sort of films he makes anyway. The worst thing you can do is then place it in line with something else horrific.
Absolutely. Why upset people? Why run the risk?
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd rather sell some cinema tickets. James Bond. And Lego.
Ooh. Yeah.
The DB5 Lego set was released this week. Well, not this week. Quite recently.
Yeah.
However, it's only just come to light, I think, publicly that these things actually exist. They were rumoured a little while ago, but I know somebody that's bought 2 of these sets.
Are they actually already out then?
They're already out. Well, I suppose they were probably pre-ordered from Lego.co.
Oh, right. I thought they weren't out until next month.
Well, Chris Boyanson has got some. Hello, Chris, if you're listening.
Hello.
He's got a couple of DB5 sets that he showed me yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Are they Lego ideas, or are they just
no, they are
just actual Lego
sets,
themed sets?
And
amazing.
The first of a range of licensed to build sets.
Oh, okay. So they're doing more Bond.
Yeah,
they're probably just going to be all the cars, aren't they, and vehicles and stuff like the Moonraker, Moon Buggy, and
I
stuff
want
like
a Lotus Turbo Esprit that turns into a submarine.
I'd like them to just do famous film car sets. So the Blues Brothers Mobile and the A-Team van and Dukes of Hazzard and stuff like that. Just famous, just sets, a whole set that is just famous Lego, famous film and TV cars or vehicles. Could be Captain Scarlet, could be Stingray.
Oh, Stingray.
Thunderbirds, whatever. Do them, but with little minifigures of... So if it's A-Team, you do the 4 main dudes and the van. Like, you know, they've done the Mystery Machine with Scooby-Doo. That's amazing, actually. Back to the Future DeLorean's
on this one is more like your Technics set kind of scale, though. It's quite a large one.
Oh, so, right, okay.
It's not you're not gonna have a minifig of James Bond sat in the passenger seat because it's too big.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, scale it down and do famous TV and film vehicles.
Yeah.
And do like minifig size,
for instance.
Yeah, because I've got the DeLorean. I'd love, and the Mystery Machine, I'd love to have the A-Team van, Batmobile, like the 60s Batmobile, and loads of other ones all lined up in a row on a shelf.
That would look cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I could just make them myself out of pieces, but I just haven't got the time.
Right. I'm going to call that a snooze button.
Nice.
Let's put the alarm in just for the sake of it.
That was my version of the alarm.
Anyway, I meant this one. So that's a snooze button then, Adam.
It's a much better alarm than my one.
So it's just trailers to wrap up with then. Bohemian Rhapsody. That had a second trailer this week.
It did.
Looks very, very good.
I'm very into this idea of a film.
So I guess before I had no idea what kind of timescale we'd be looking at, like whether it was like start of career all the way to end of career.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And it looks like that's what's.
Yeah, it wasn't obvious originally when they first announced it, was it? It wasn't. It seemed like maybe it was just the start of the band and a bit of the first bit of the career.
When they really make it big, that perhaps they cut off. But yes, Rami Malek is looking very good.
Yeah,
and
I'm assuming it's actually him singing in certain bits.
Well, apparently he had to do performances in front of the surviving members of Queen.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming so, yeah.
Yeah.
It must be him singing. In which case, impressive.
Yeah.
And there's a really nice shot of him playing piano. But it might not be him playing piano. But did you pick out this shot from the trailer by any chance?
No, I didn't notice it.
Filmed like in a really polished surface of the piano. I just really love the way that this shot looks. So they're actually filming the reflection.
Oh, okay.
Rather than the face. It looks great.
I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. I've got a few mates who are massive Queen fans that I'll go to cinema to watch this on with, and
all those like really nice little touches as far as the cinematography is concerned. That sort of thing makes a biopic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know? Well, I suppose the story of the
Well, yeah, it has to be an interesting story.
Actually, the film, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, if you've got a good story, it's not a bad thing to make sure that you've then also got an visually interesting,
like
telling of
the
it.
King's Speech. There's some amazing photography.
I haven't seen that.
Have you not?
No.
Mate, go and watch it.
No.
It's fantastic. The camera work in there is beautiful. Some really, really, really good shots.
Cool.
Very, very well set up. So yeah, Unfriended the Dark Web. There's a trailer for that because I don't think it's out over here yet.
Unfriended.
Is
that like a carry-on of the Unfriended film from a while ago?
Don't know. It's some guys.
Because the Unfriended one was
looks like
a while
it's
ago.
all shot on webcams.
Yeah, the one a while ago was about someone basically being pushed into either killing themselves or being murdered using Facebook and Skype and stuff like that.
It looks very similar then.
Okay, it's probably a second one then.
So it's some guy. He's part of a group that all use webcams to talk to each other, and then he finds a laptop, and the person who owned the laptop originally somehow is doing stuff to these people to murder them, or at least make them commit suicide or something.
Okay, yeah, so it sounds like the same sort of bullying-esque.
There's a trailer. Go and have a look.
Yeah.
Welcome to Marwyn.
Looks amazing.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, I forget the name of the actor.
Steve Carell.
That's the one.
Yeah.
One of two movies that are coming out in very quick succession with him, but this one I think is the better looking of the two. The
documentary about the guy that I'm only assuming this film is based on this real life guy who does this.
Right.
Like he literally...
Is he still around then? This guy?
Yeah. I can't remember. I'm assuming the documentary will be on YouTube or something like that, but his artwork doesn't have figures in. It's just vehicles and buildings, all of a particular era. I think it's like the 50s era.
Okay.
And he just makes this beautiful artwork, and occasionally he'll chuck like little models of people in the background and stuff, but they're not the forefront of the images.
Is this documentary by any chance called Marwyn Cole?
Possibly. I can't remember. I saw it ages ago.
By Jeff Malmberg? No?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Just did a quick Google search and that's what I came up with.
Yeah, but, the artwork's amazing, that the photography that the guy does uses real-life backgrounds and then sets the cameras up with the models up in a certain way that he can use the background to complement the models that he's made.
Okay.
And the guy's so interesting when he's being interviewed that I imagine Steve Carell will do a very good job of playing a character based on him. I don't think it's fully 100% the same person.
We'll see.
So, yeah.
Maybe we can find out by watching this documentary. So this film is based on... this is a Robert Zemeckis film as well, by the way. So, it's based on a documentary about a man who basically loses his memory after being almost beaten to death by a group of Nazis, perhaps?
Yeah.
Because he's like an ex-serviceman or something, so...
Yeah.
Emotionally charged-looking film.
Yeah, but beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, looks incredible. Go and watch the trailer if you've not seen it out there. Overlord, J.J. Abrams' next movie, which apparently isn't a Cloverfield movie.
Right.
It was rumoured to be.
What does it? I haven't seen the trailer for this one. What does it look like?
It's a World War II sci-fi horror.
Right.
So testing facility, stuff going on, rabid, monstery, human type. I'm going to say not zombies, but, feral type.
I'm not really interested.
No?
No.
It looks all right. It looks like an Abrams movie.
There's been so many films about that exact thing. Like, it's just do something else.
Well, he likes retreading the same ground, doesn't he, J.J. Abrams?
Yeah.
So,
well, he's got the
good luck to you, mate.
He's got the member berries on his side, as South Park would say.
True. Very true. Oh, even worse.
Go on.
The new Robin Hood movie with Taron Egerton got a trailer this week as well.
Fuck, why are we still getting more Robin Hood and King Arthur things?
At any one time, there's always a production company making either Robin Hood or King Arthur.
It's just mental.
Just bizarre, isn't it?
They're not interesting anymore. Like, the best versions have been done. You need to wait at least 50 years before someone's going to be able to do a decent version again.
But they won't. It'll be 5 years down the road. I almost watched the Russell Crowe one the other day, but then my missus was watching it. I was about to suggest that perhaps we skip it back to the beginning, because she was only about 20 minutes into it, and after watching 5 minutes of it, I thought, no, in actual fact, I'm just going to go and do something else. You carry on watching this, I'll go and play games. It looked awful, but yeah, it's not got the best reviews. Perhaps I was led by the pre-knowledge of that. I don't know. Anyway, 2 trailers that I haven't actually watched yet, but they're on our Facebook page. One for Hurricane, which is a World War II drama that I mentioned last week when Ross was talking about Spitfires. Yeah.
The trailer looks interesting. I don't know if it'll be any good, but it looks like it's about it.
If you like your World War II dramas or your war dramas in general, perhaps it's for you. First trailer for Boy Erased as well. I have no idea what it's about or anything.
No.
But it's there. Go and have a look. It's on our Facebook page.
Oh.
Yay. That's the end of the trailers, Adam.
Excellent. I think because we're doing the San Diego Comic-Con thing, I think we should just chuck in some easy to digest, quick last reviews before we go.
Just stick it all in one show.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
I think we should for the listeners this week.
Hello, folks. Welcome to our review show.
Yeah. At the end of our snooze show.
It's like old times when it all used to be one show.
Yeah.
Look at this weird thing that we
What's
have.
Going
this
on?
Hybrid show thing. Weird. Like the mutant child of the SNEWS Button. And
basically, it's too hot to stop and then restart and do an whole other podcast. So we've already mentioned some things that we've taken in this week because we've obviously, like the rest of everyone, been looking at the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. But
true.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention one thing that I've watched this week.
Okay.
On Netflix, there is the Stanton University Prison Experiment. The dramatisation.
Okay. Is it called The Experiment?
No, that's another film.
Right.
I think about the same thing. This one's called the Stanton University Prison Experiment.
Is it the thing about they put a bunch of people in there and they give some of them jobs as guards and the rest of them are prisoners?
Yes.
And then see what they do psychologically?
Yeah.
And how...
So it happened in 1971. Okay. The professor, basically with some other people, took over a hall during the summer and or during a holiday at the university, took over a hallway, turned 3 staff offices into prison cells, and then put a wall at one end of the corridor with a hole in with a camera through it, and then a door at the other end, and then 8 or 9 prisoners and 9 guards who were all students that applied to do it.
Right.
Or people from outside of the university. Basically, they're all student age, so they're all similar sort of age.
Okay.
And then, the whole film is about the process they all went through doing the project and what happened to the people behind the cameras watching, what some of the guys in there went through. It's weird because there's a couple of people that were involved in it who have talked about how they acted as guards with the control and power of the other people after it had happened and years later, who are still now, and even more so since a couple of films and documentaries come out, been getting death threats and hate mail and emails and phone calls still now from the 70s. So since the 70s, they've been getting abuse about it, and then it's gone up again since these things came out.
Did they have to stop the experiment?
Yes, they did have to stop the experiment.
Because the guards started getting too rough.
8 days early, but this is the thing. A couple of the guys, the ones that have been getting the main amount of death threats and stuff, have said that they were getting bored and they thought that if they and some of the prisoners played up to the camera, because they could hear the professor and the other people behind the wall, they kind of played up and pretended to be more violent than they were and do stuff that was weird because they thought that's what they wanted to see and thought it would get more of a reaction. But I don't know if that's true or not. It's difficult to know. I need to do a lot more research.
There have been several movies about this, haven't there?
There's been several experiments in reality as well. They did another one a while later, and then they did one more recently over here where they did it in an actual prison, and then they swapped the guards and the prisoners over halfway through, the people that volunteered, and that went very wrong.
Okay.
Not to the same level that went wrong in the 70s, because obviously there's a lot more control and rules and stuff involved now. But yeah, and there's been, I think, 4 films, 2 documentaries and 2 dramatisations.
Right.
But yeah, it's really good. And some of the young actors in it who have been awful in other things were really good in this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite disturbing in places. But yeah, if you've got Netflix, it's worth a watch.
Perhaps I'll stick that on the watch list. Speaking of actors who are pretty rubbish in some things but then redeem themselves in others, Katie Sackhoff.
Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Pretty terrible in Battlestar Galactica, really.
Oh, no. I thought she was good. There's moments.
She's all right.
There's moments that are bad, but she was actually very good.
Generally speaking, though, she's not the world's greatest actress.
No, she's awful in The Flash doing a British accent.
Oh, right, okay. I've not seen that.
Yeah.
She is really good, though, in 2036 Origin Unknown.
Oh, what's this?
It's basically just her all the way through, speaking with an AI. And she's she's it's set in 2036.
Yeah.
Advanced AI. And she's trying to work out whether or not she's performing the Turing test on this AI.
Yeah.
So that's to determine whether or not she can differentiate it from a human being, sort of thing. But at the same time, while she's conducting the interview and the experiment, she starts to realise that in actual fact, the origin of the AI could be quite suspect. And that's all I'll tell you. This film is brilliant. It's gotten really bad reviews on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
But, my God, I personally thought it was just a very, very well thought out piece of science fiction. And it deserves a lot more credit than it's getting.
Did it get panned because, unlike a lot of other sci-fi at the moment, it wasn't ridiculously over the top and full of space
no action
fights?
In it.
No,
nothing.
It was actually decent sci-fi. And
it's script based, character driven.
This is the problem. The majority of audiences, including critics now, just want spaceships and space fights or laser swords or this or that. They can't sit down and enjoy something that's character and dialogue based anymore. Seems to be less and less of that. That's what's happened with Star Trek. There's less dialogue and more action. I'll have to get. It sounds like something I'd be well into. I might have to give this a watch.
I think you should.
What is
I'm
it?
Just trying to work out if it's on Netflix.
When was it made?
It's really recent. It's this year.
Oh wow. Okay.
I watched it somewhere where I shouldn't be watching stuff, but
like France.
Wow. Gibraltar.
Right. In the loo.
It's on Netflix, so I've got no idea why I watched it on the site I watched it on.
Because you've got Netflix. Yeah,
I've got Netflix. I could have probably watched a much better quality version of it. But,
mate.
But this said, it was a beautifully ripped version that I watched. So, yeah, it's well worth it, though.
I'll have to give that a go.
Is that illegal, then? Is it technically illegal? Even though I've paid for my subscription service, and this belongs to the subscription service themselves. So, am I breaking the law?
No idea,
Who
mate.
knows?
No idea.
If you know out there...
Don't invite. Don't invite.
If you care, write in and let us know.
You're just asking for trouble now.
Yeah, absolutely. Isaac Asimov, I, Robot.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the audiobooks of that.
So good.
On YouTube. Amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing like what I expected.
No, Asimov's beautiful.
His characters are the conversations between the characters are very well thought out, I think. But, yeah, I didn't realise that I, Robot is not a singular work. It's it's a collection of short stories, which makes it very, very consumable at bedtime.
Yeah,
which is great.
You can just listen to a couple or one.
Yeah, well, they're all about half an hour long. So if I do that, usually I'll fall asleep halfway through.
Yeah.
So it's not so hard to find your place.
Yeah.
Like it is with a 4-hour audiobook on YouTube. Or 6-hour, 12-hour, whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, really, really good quality versions of it on YouTube. And I'm going to pop them on my website, chrisqthings.co.uk. Cool. Some of the audiobooks and stuff that I've found on YouTube are on my website. If you want to go and have a little look, you can do.
Awesome.
chrisqthings.co.uk. You'll find links to my music and stuff on there as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you got anything else to review?
I've been listening to a band.
Right.
I don't know. They don't seem to have a name.
Huh?
There is a website that I came across. I can't even think. Well, I'll have to find out the name of the website and link it on our Facebook page.
Surely the name of the website is the name of the band?
No.
Okay.
It's a weird, like, selection of numbers and letters.com.
Okay.
And it just says at the top of the page, music. And then there's, like, little sort of 3 to 5 minute long songs that they've written in all different styles and all different instruments and with different members singing, but they've only got their first names and there's no photos, there's nothing. And it kind of reminds me of a punk band I found years ago called Gee That Beetle Looks Mighty Dangerous, I Wonder If It's Poisonous, who are still touring now.
Good name.
And have been touring since the late 70s and have never released a CD or an album,
right,
or a single, or ever advertised any of their gigs.
Okay.
But they make enough money just to live touring, doing music, just travel all over the world.
I'd like to think there's a nice life, but
there's
another side to that coin.
They all seem very healthy and happy and mentally stable, which for a punk band is unusual.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've met them a couple of times when they've been touring, and this other group seem quite possibly a similar sort of thing. I don't know how long they've been around, but there's a lot of music on there and it's all fascinating.
Okay.
So I'll try and find the website
The band
again.
with no name.
Yeah. Well, there is a band called that, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
How do you always manage to bring these things to a podcast?
I don't know.
You know,
just random
Japanese
things I find.
martial arts TV shows that you can't give us the title for because it's in Japanese.
Yeah, yeah.
A band that don't have a name.
Yeah.
Adam. Jesus.
I will dig some out and find it. And then
link it on our Facebook page.
Link it. Because it's just such a weird website.
Cool. Okay. Right. Should we wrap up?
Yeah, I think we should go and have an ice
dinner.
cream and
Get out of this hot, sweaty
sit
little
outside.
room.
Yeah, the dungeon's too hot
It's
today.
particularly baking.
Yeah.
So, thanks very much for listening, folks. If you'd like to find anything that we do outside the podcast, you can find links to, well, everything we do, I suppose, on our Facebook page. Just go and have a look in the bio there. That's SNEWS with the Crew. If you'd like to write into us about anything at all, anything, and I mean, well, anything.
Most things.
Then, well, some things. Not everything.
Bits of things.
Yeah, just this and that.
Just stuff.
Then feel free. SNEWswiththecrew@gmail.com. Tweet at us. Throw a rock through the window at the library in Cows. Yeah.
At your own peril.
Honourable mentions for Libsyn and Stitcher.
Yeah, they've been very useful.
For, putting together San Diego Comic-Con this week. Well done.
Yeah.
You crazy bastards.
It's a lot of work.
It is. And that's about it, isn't it?
I think so.
Thanks very much for listening, folks.
See you
we'll
later.
catch you another time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't touch the cookies.
Cookies? There's cookies?
Don't touch the cookies.
I quite like cookies. I've got some shortbread downstairs.